Life is what happens when you are busy making other plans. That's a saying according to John Lennon. So when you go on the path to creating a plan or setting goals for yourself, you project thoughts and feelings which culminate into actions expectant of results, right? Why do some scale through and some others are still at the very point of mere thoughts? What should inspire you before and after? The real world, actual world, and entrepreneurship for all the seasons should be of interest to you. We will explore the mind movement of my guests on all of these on the program. Welcome to On the Spot this week. My name is Blessing Abu. My guest is a consultant and entrepreneurship coach. For him, as an articulate, disciplined, multi-talented, focused, dynamic, and young man with robust experience. Well, not so young as you think that I'm making it seem. In his calling to act as a catalyst for the reformation and transformation change. He's also there to see to the prospective retirees retire well. So between the young persons getting the knowledge and also for those of you who think, okay, I'm too tired, retired to actually think of anything. Well, my guest is of a great interest in that direction as well. Now, he's there to help create jobs. How do I mean? Well, he doesn't have the job to give to you, but he can actually bring the catalyst on for you to actually see where those jobs exist. And in the existing businesses, to take it to the next level. After all, that is where we all want to go. Now, for him, he actually signed a memorandum of understanding at a point with a particular government agency to actually look into the youth aspect, coach core members in the country on entrepreneurship, and he's also into other things, partnering with other big agencies to actually look into what it takes to actually get you from being motivated to actually doing these big things. Small and medium enterprises is his area. Development agencies also took a look into that as well. Now for my guest, what keeps him running? You get to find out as my guest this week is the Chief Executive Officer of JFK Abiona Consultancy. My guest on the spot is James Folusho Kayode Abiona, JFK Abiona. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Now, people feel my palpable excitement. Why is it so? There's something that motivation does to the individual. But then we get to hear motivational speaker, life coach, entrepreneurship coach. Here you are. Tell me who is who and what is what.
Yeah, I'm a life coach. I have a way to introduce myself in one word. In one word, I can call myself a catalyst.
Okay.
And in 2 words, I can say I'm a life coach. And in 3 words, I can say I'm a peak performance consultant.
Okay.
And in, let's leave it there.
Okay. So who is a life coach? What does a motivational person do that the life coach doesn't do, or maybe perhaps does more? And where is the place of entrepreneurship coach now?
Okay. There are 3. You have a teacher, you have a coach, and you have a mentor. A teacher teaches you maybe what he has never practiced, teaches you from the book for you just to know. A coach pushes you beyond what you can do. He helps you to go, to explore, he helps you to expand, he pushes you beyond your limits. But a mentor is someone who has done all you want to do, who will just give you instruction. So I stand in the middle. I'm a coach. And I might not necessarily be a mentor, I'm a mentor to someone. But a coach is someone who knows that job so much that he will help you locate your core and for you to be the best on that job. It pushes you out of your comfort zone. While other people see you the way you are, your coach sees you the way you should be. So a coach is not somebody who teaches you, no. What he needs to get is already in you, is your technical advisor, like they call them in the football. The coach, is the technical advisor, is the one who helps you to explore your gift, to move you from your raw talent to a skill. Because talents are given, but skills are acquired through CIA.
Talents are given, skills are acquired.
Through CIA. CIA means critical independent action.
Oh, great. Critical independent action. CIA. That was more like the CIA of the military. Okay, let's break it down more. Yes, I know you've attempted to define these areas. Now you're doing something with the young minds as well as the older minds.
Yeah.
Well, the minds of any individual is what we see it to be.
Yeah.
But like you said, the coach will also modify and help out in this area. Tell us, what is it in the average young mind you've seen today and those of the older minds still in the country in terms of building that which is on the inside for the development of the society?
Yes, an average person now, young mind today, believes somebody is owing him. I tell the core member, the NYC is not owing you, the government is not owing you, neither are your parents owing you. An average young man today believes, you know, the nation is owing him, and that will not add up. That will not really help you. The young minds I address, I tell them, you know, don't have that mindset of trying to scratch a 200 naira card and win a plane, because if you do not delay your gratification, you cannot have that nation that we desire. So the young mind needs to understand that it needs to take personal responsibility, because responsibility is the definition of adulthood. I believe everybody has 3 days to live: your yesterday, your today, and your tomorrow. And that your yesterday was the day you are dependent. Today is your day of dependent and independent, and tomorrow is the day of interdependent. Yesterday you could say, oh, it was a day of you're not enough. Today is just enough, tomorrow more than enough. So that middle, it's the day of the young person, the second day, which is your independent. But an average youth is not yet independent, is still looking forward for the country to do this, do that. And the few, because I tell someone, if 100 people complain of poverty in their mutual impoverishment, if one out of them steps out and take responsibility and begins to have results, his results has proved the remaining 99 wrong. So I always tell the young people that, you know, let's take responsibility. You know, if we all complain and we play the sitting dog, the leaders of the world, those who really make things happen, they are not government agencies, they are individuals. The Mark Zuckerberg, you know, Jeff Bezos, you know, the individuals, the greatest institutions in the world are held by individuals, not government agencies. So in the spirit of that, one person can actually become a nation, because Apple is a nation on its own. Apple turned over $1 trillion and having a world Guinness record. And Apple is not a government agency, it's a private company. So, and it's driven by an individual. So who also have challenges in their governmental area, you know, the society. There are issues everywhere, but definitely every issue is peculiar. So as regards Nigeria, the most populous black nation, a nation where we have 180 aggressive consumers who consume what they don't produce, who produce what they don't consume. We can't close our eyes and allow this huge opportunity to pass by. We, as young people in this country, need to look inward and ensure that we take responsibility such that those things that the government looks for outside, they can patronize us. So that is my stake, and that's what I try to tell young people, that take responsibility. Government will not look for experts anymore. They will come for you, because excellence is a barrier breaker. Excellence brings. I tell people excellence is a minimum requirement in the school of success. Don't complain, don't blame. The leaders will say the buck stops here. If you do all this in the middle of all these crises, you will stand out and the government will look for you.
What somebody will be saying is true. It's easier said than done. But this is what you've also put into practice over time. At a point in time, yes. I also know you're a writer. Yeah. You write one of your publications, How to Start a Business with Zero Kobo. And really, people were wondering, how possible is that? While I will still let you ruminate over there on how to share some of those experiences, you've just talked about the young persons. There are also the older categories who have passed through a particular sector, public service, private concerns, and they found themselves, okay, they have to retire before their time, or even something else will just retire them. Yeah. And they're still interested in putting up something for themselves. What charge is on their mind?
I always tell them that retirement is not a death sentence. Retirement is a nation in which you need to travel to, not with a visiting visa, but with a resident permit. I tell people that, you know, when you are about to retire, a lot of people, they just work for their gratuity, they don't plan for the retirement. And that's why they lose the gratuity. We were coaching the high-profile executives, and one of them just walked to me and said, young man, you know what? One of our friends, if he had been here, he would not have died if he had listened to you. I said, what happened? The man collected 37 million. And before he could call Jack, he was invited to come and do politics. He went to spend the money on politics. And lo and behold, he didn't win. And he had a heart attack. The other one, he told me of another person who just collected the money. That one collected 40 million. And lo and behold, he went to buy a house for 30 million. And before he could call Jack, after 6 months, the house was marked for demolition in Cuba, that railway is going to pass. he too had stroke. So what I'm trying to say, for the older people, I always tell them, the day you start to plan for retirement is the day you collect your employment letter, because you can only control your preparation, you cannot control your opportunity. Retirement is an opportunity. If you don't control it, it's going to control you. It's like a moving train.
So it's actually the day you collect your employment.
You must start planning for retirement. Retirement must not be accidental. Because if you get to, like I said, the time is like a foreign nation. If you go to the UK with 6 months visa, after 6 months you don't leave, you become an economic migrant. It's when somebody after retirement coming back to beg, look for money, he has been expatriated from the nation called United States of Retirement. So if you do not want to be repatriated, if you want to go back looking for survival, you need to prepare yourself. And it's not how much you're giving when you're retiring that actually matters. It is who you are when you retire that matters. If a person who has with the mindset of this 30 days, and you have that mindset that, oh, all I need is just for someone to survive, you must understand that at the point of your retirement, before you retire, you must find a way to make yourself to become somebody who will now want to help other people, so that you are self-sufficient. Because somebody who is dependent, you know, when he retires, is still going to be dependent. So you must become independent before you retire.
Okay. Now, as a life coach, I know you look into several areas before you go to do your engagements, certainly. Now, Nigeria is at a pedestal where we say, okay, this is where we want to go. People say, okay, information age is already moving past. We're in a digital age. And people already are saying into other areas of projection across the globe. Take, for instance, on our national scene, where and how do you think the average mind, whether young or old, should begin to plug into to actually address the issue? We have several developmental problems or challenges, as I want to put them.
Yeah.
How do we structure that?
Yeah, we should go back to what the entire globe is saying. The Sustainable Development Goals of the UN is a huge problem now, and a problem especially in the African nations. We are not aware in this country that the world has gone 30 years ahead of us. We are in the third decade now. We started the third decade of this millennium. We entered the first decade in the year 2009, with the first decade under this millennium. And when we saw data was being born that time, data was in an infant stage. GSM came, stock market crashed, you know, capitalization, mergers and acquisition. And we saw those shake up. We pretended as if nothing is happening, and it's affected us badly. But by the second decade, which was the year 2010 to 2019, just a few days ago, data became a teenager. We saw the people, the Jumia, we saw a lot of changes. We saw the Apple, the Facebook becoming mighty. Five organizations delivered America from the hands of China. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, and YouTube. They saved, if you look at the economy of those 5 countries, which I call them countries because of the power they have economically, we should understand that as we enter this new decade, the third decade, which is from the year 2029, my sister, 2029, is going to be very serious, because data is going to become a giant. Data was an infant 2009. Data became a teenager 2010, 2019. Data is becoming a giant from 2020 to 2029. Now, what we should see is this. Data has eaten some businesses for lunch. The coming of Uber, the Taxify, ate up the entire, sent some taxi drivers back to the village. You know, looking at the banking system now, the body language of the bank is that stay at home, use your gadget to do your financial transaction, the e-payment system. Now, looking at this new decade, we saw in our organization, we discovered over 400 businesses that data will eat for lunch. Why? Is because if you see, when the software is an app comes on board, one single app can take over an entire industry. You know, someone now, we're building an app for someone, for example, in fashion. It's going to be an app whereby you bring your designs, whether you are sewing it or you are selling it. It's highly competitive. It doesn't matter if you have been sewing for 30 years or just 30 days. It's going to be so competitive, meaning that when the app is ready, this young lady is going to put all the fashion designers in Nigeria as her staff, because the data, this app, is a convergence of everyone who's into fashion. So the same way in every other industry. So this new decade, under this millennium, is a digital age in which data is coming to become a giant. Even in processes in banks and every other institutions, data is going to become like an hurricane.
Okay. How poised we are to actually accept these and actually move on with data coming of age. Those are some of the things we'll be finding out from you after this break, and how to actually help people project big time. It's days and weeks into the new year, 2020, and a whole lot of people are still saying, where should I start? We'll find out more from you, and that will be after this break. You're watching On The Spot with JFK Abiona, writer and also entrepreneur, life coach, all mixed together. We'll be right back with him after this break.
Advertising your goods and services on the right channel gives you an edge over your competitors. NTA News 24 has all the platforms for your target audience. The station is on DSTV channel 419, GoTV channel 46, Star Times channel 101, and Free TV channel 703. With our digital format and wide range, we can reach your customers in next to no time. We are eager to promote your business, goods and services. So partner with us for a very rewarding business experience. For more information, please call Henry on 0803-379-0884 or visit our office at NTA Headquarters, Area 11, Garki, Abuja. NTA News 24. News and more news.
Okay, welcome back. If you just tuned in, the program is On The Spot, and I still have my writer and also life coach on set, JFK Abiona. Now, before the break, we're talking about the place of data, 10, 20 years, and now the third decade for the millennium is already moving very fast. And we need to get on board. That is for those who haven't already. I know a whole lot of young persons out there are doing so much incredible things across, but they need to help have a synergy for all the pockets of individuals who want to actually achieve that and help governments have that stability as bigger nations of the world. Where exactly are our concerns now? North, south, east, and west. I know you move around the country and also outside easily. Let's know where, for someone who's watching now, and even for government agencies who will want to harness some of these potentials that we have there. What have you seen?
Yeah, I see a huge opportunity, and I would not want foreigners to come and use their bread to lick up our stew here. You know, we have a very huge potential in this country, because if you get to the airport, as I talk to you now, you see a lot of Nigerians traveling. Most of us are not coming back. And you see a lot of foreigners coming in. Most of them are not going back. What is that?
That is strange.
What is that? That the foreigners are coming, and we are not seeing, and we are leaving. So for anyone, you know, who is watching now, whether as a private sector or public sector, what we should understand is that this new decade that we kick off now is another opportunity, because big things happen in 10 years. And I will tell you that New Year resolution cannot handle 2020, because 2020 is the beginning of a decade, not the beginning of a year. So the New Year resolution, the usual thing that when New Year is coming, you write it can't work.
Yes, some I've written already.
What is going to work for you is not to push any vision, is to allow the vision to pull you. And
so how do you do that?
How do you do that? Now, the way you do that is this. Whatever you have written that you want to achieve, you should have a short term and a long term. For the short term, hence this year. For the long term, let it end in 2029. Now, how do you achieve this? You don't push a vision, because the vision itself, you do not have a dream. It's the dream that have you. When like Martin Luther said, I have a dream, the dream really had him, because the dream, he died in it, and you might not, with the day the dream is fulfilled, it was already in the grave. But be that as it may, you allow the force, because somebody said if you don't know the purpose of waking up, sleep becomes interesting. So you must have a reason why you wake up. How do you now allow your vision to pull you? You don't push your vision, you allow the vision to pull you. What you do is to tie yourself to what you want to achieve. Give it 4 wheels, get it a very good engine, and start the ignition, and let it be on an auto move, and then see the way to pull you. Because myself, 1 a.m. I'm still awake, because I know the world champions, the night time is their daytime. And when the crowd is around the corner, that's when they are working. And when the crowd are going to work, that they want to dictate the pace. So I had to swap the way I work. And I found out that when you wake up to work, when you make sure that whatever you're doing, gives you, somebody said, I don't sleep when I'm tired. I sleep when I'm done. So allow your work to be on emotion. What you want to do is, want to do, if wishes were horses, beggars would, don't make it as a wish. Put it on motion. It's bigger than you. And tie yourself to it. And you'll be discovered that the kinds of friends you have will redefine, the places you go will redefine, because you are on a move. Okay. And when you're on a move, you will reprioritize your activities every day.
Okay, now, while I'm still trying to internalize that area of putting your dreams to emotion and putting whatever it is you've set as target in motion. I know also, like we pointed out earlier, you wrote a book on saying how to start a business with 0 naira. For some persons, they believe until you get a certain amount, I can't really do anything. Until I get to meet some certain kind of people, I must be connected to do this. And such connection must put me in the right places. It's still a huge concern for some people. How do they redirect them, especially for a nation like ours that seems to hang on connections and money?
It has to do, especially the retirees. I tell them this, all I'm trying to, when I wrote the book, How to Start a Multi-Millionaire Project with Zero Kobo, my argument there is that while you don't need to look for money, what you need to do is to make yourself available and convert and have a very good will before people, and then later you convert the social capital to money. How do you do this? I tell retirees, don't look at the gratuity of the pension. Have you helped people and you didn't take advantage of them? Have you been there for others and you did a service meritoriously? Then if you have done that, every good, one good turn deserves another. What you need to know is how to convert your social capital to money. There are people out there who have been looking at you, that you are very hardworking. They don't know how to assist you. There is a way to articulate. This interview won't give us the time to get that done, but definitely there is a way to convert your goodwill to money, and that's a process. But definitely the money you're looking for is not actually what you really need. What you need is apprenticeship. What you need is for you to learn the dynamics and the visibility of the business. What you need is mentorship. And when you have all this, it will shock you what you needed 5 million for. You might actually just start even without having the money.
Now, quickly, I like the fact that you talked about the issue of mentorship, which is another area most people are concerned about. Who are supposed to be mentoring who? Sometimes you find mentors who take advantage of their mentees. Those are their mentors. Okay, now the mentees too, expecting that their mentors must do everything from whatever. So the place of the mentorship. Let's quickly look into that.
The digital age has made mentorship very easy. My biggest mentors are millions of miles away from me. In Australia and the UK, the YouTube is a mentorship platform. The Facebook page is a mentorship platform. Books have very, very good mentors. I have mentors who have been mentoring me for over 30 years. I've never met them once, and they've impacted me. You see, a lazy person cannot be mentored. And the definition of mentorship for a lot of Nigerian youth is someone who has a lot of money to do a lot of money to you. You have defeated the purpose of mentorship when you're looking for money from the hands of a mentor. A mentor is someone who has been there, and you study the way he got there, and then so that you too can get there. So mentorship in the digital age is not looking for somebody up and down. It's to look for the write-up of the person. It's to look for the works the person has done. And we have the privilege to meet the person to ask the person questions, because the questions you ask will determine the answers you get. So you will wait all your life if you're looking for a perfect mentor. If you wait all your life if you're waiting for a mentor to call you up. What you need to do is to look for their write-ups, look for their messages, look for their meetings, and then appreciate them. If you get their mail, appreciate them.
And for those who are close by, you could actually
just make yourself available, give free services. If you have a privilege to see one that call you up, dust his shoes, hang on his shirt, and just listen. And then, because what you're looking for, if you're looking for money, don't go for mentorship. Go and get a salary job. But if you look for a future that is robust, look for somebody to serve and create a very good listenership of the person, studying what the person is doing. And that's actually the finest way to be mentored. I have over 30 mentors, and I've met just maybe 2 of them. And
so life coaching generally, what does it do for you?
What a life coach does for you is what your doctor do for you. What a life coach does for you is what a pastor do for you. Everyone who is great in the world, every Olympic gold medalist, they have a life coach. A life coach is a person who helps you to convert your raw talent to polished skills. He's the one who, he doesn't tell you what to do. He only tell you how to do what you want to do. So a mentor is not a teacher, neither is he a coach is not a teacher, neither is he a mentor. A coach is somebody who pushes you beyond limits. A coach is somebody who discovers the talent in you in raw gold form and brings out the gold in you. Such
And
that
it's always coming around you.
Coming around you, and he is somebody that you give access to and comes around and turn your life around in such a way that you think you are shy, you begin to speak boldly, because he knows the art and science of public speaking. And also I must tell you, there are coaches in different fields. There is a coach for entrepreneurship, there is a coach for public speaking, there is a coach for anything you want to do in life. But definitely a life coach like me, there is no field of play I cannot coach you, because all I try to let you know is that there are steps, there are principles you need to abide by, and when you abide by those principles, then you get the result you desire.
So you help take talent to ultimately a skillful person.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming around to turn this conversation into a fruitful one for somebody, which I believe is listening to this particular edition of the program. GFK Abiona, life coach, thank you very much for coming on the spot.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Well, you only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough. That's Maya West. And that's on the spot today with GFK Abiona, writer and entrepreneur coach, also life coach, as he has qualified himself. We appreciate your time with us. Join us again next time with another interesting guest on the program. My name is Blessing Abu. Goodbye.